It's a very large landslide, and there's significant hazards associated with this landslide. As is mentioned, we have kind of slower flooding upstream as we're forming a lake behind the dam. But the real concern is how quickly is that water released? And so they talked a little bit about the fact that water was now seeping through the landslide. That is a bit of a concern. We'd be worried that the water finds a path through the landslide debris, starts to erode that landslide, and then you get sudden collapse and then a much more rapid draining. In this case, what I think will probably happen is that the water will come up and start to flow across the landslide. It will start to erode through that material. And the real question is how fast is that going to happen? Is that going to happen in a few hours or a few days? And that has a significant impact on the nature of the hazard downstream for this, rapid onset kind of outburst flood that will occur.
What should we be prepared for then?
Well, I think they've said all you need to know. You need to stay away from the river. And, I'm sure it's really tempting to walk down into the Chilcotin River bank right now because it's largely devoid. Devoid of water, but you can't do that because the water can rise very, very rapidly. And so we'll see if it rises enough to affect any houses or infrastructure downstream. The big concern would be the bridge that's over the Chilcotin River. Hopefully, it's strong enough to withstand these floodwaters that are coming. And then we'll see kind of a lowering of the floodwaters as we travel further and further downstream. Because if you think about how a river hydrograph is shown when we have a flood, and you can see that there'll be a peak in floodwaters, well, close to the landslide dam, that raise in water level will be very high, very sharply peaked. As we go further downstream, that peak becomes broader and wider and therefore lower. So the flood will last longer, but not go as high up the riverbanks.